All right, so you just got Marlin firmware on your 3D printer, and you want to customize so much stuff. There's like so much stuff to do. You want to mess around with all the different auto bed leveling processes, but don't. All you need is unified bed leveling. It really thrives, when the bed is warped or there's something wrong with the build plate. But even if there's nothing wrong with the bed or the build plate, it's still insane. It's still so easy. It's just set it and forget it. Just a quick rundown. It probes usually just 100 points along the bed. It's gonna save the basically the Z offset for each of these points into a slot, and then before each print, it's going to reach into the EEPROM, retrieve the data from this mesh, and then load it for this print. So it basically knows at all times, wherever it's at on the bed, how far away it is from the bed. I mean, I basically just described auto bed leveling, but unified bed leveling just does it so much better than everything else. It's just set it and forget it. So, obviously I'm going to go over my settings in Marlin for unified bed leveling, and then just real quick, BLTouch. Um, so let's go into VS Code. I had a video before about auto build Marlin, which is the cheeriest way to compile your Marlin firmware. I definitely recommend it. So we're gonna use that, of course. Obviously, we're defining our BLTouch here. Want to uncomment that. All this stuff is going to be commented, but with this, all you have to do is uncomment that, and then all the conditionals and everything for the BLTouch is it's going to come to life. So then, unfortunately, this nozzle to probe offset, we're gonna have to do some blue collar work here. I think that this is the only blue collar task we have to do, but basically they give you a really helpful diagram here. This is a nozzle here. I have an Ender 3 Pro. It's common on the Ender 3 Pro since there's a big ass fan on the right. To put your BLTouch on the left side of the hot end, and so if it's on the left, it's going to be a negative value here, and then my probe is in the front of the nozzle, so it's going to be negative here. That's why I have negative values here. This is in millimeters, so you have to take your blue collar ruler and you have to measure from the probe when it's deployed to the nozzle. That's this value in millimeters, and then flip it around 90 degrees, and then this is it from the nozzle to the probe, 6 millimeters. You just want to put those values in. It's really hard blue collar work, very difficult. So that's it for BLTouch. Let's get into UBL settings. This is just a rundown on everything else, or on all the other auto bed leveling processes. Screw all that. All you need is this. We just want to define this right here. That just initializes it. Everything else, like the same with the BLTouch, it's all in conditionals. It'll detect when that's defined, and then all those other things come to life. So the next one is right here. I don't even know if this does anything. Restore leveling after G28. I think that it just enables the printer to reach into the EEPROM and grab the saved mesh, but I have no idea. I don't know if that's necessary or not, but better safe than sorry. Might as well have that. And then this is pretty sick. This is if you have, this is for your LCD. My LCD, since my printer is low key ancient, it had like a version 1 board. I had to put a 4.2.2 board in it. On the newer versions, on the newer pros, they might have it. I don't even know. But this gives you an option on your LCD to display your bed, and then each Z offset value for each part of your bed. I think it's split up into a wider grid than just 100. But it's super sick. It would be super sick to look at that. Whenever I try it, the only option I have is export to CSV, which I don't even know how that works. All right, we're back. Low key, I'm using the free plan for Loom. It's kind of poverty. So I'm limited to 5 minutes per segment. But anyways, the next thing that we want to do is mesh inset. This basically gives you a perimeter around your bed, and this 10 value here means that it's 10 millimeters. It's not going to probe any points within those bounds. So you can see set mesh bounds as an inset region of the bed. You can change that. Just it's in millimeters. I think 10 is default. You don't really need to mess with that. And then grid max points X. This is where you can customize depending on how fucked up your bed is. So this basically just means that, you know, along the x-axis, it's going to print, or it's going to have 10 points along the x-axis, no more than that. And then same thing for the y-axis, I just have it as the same as x, which is 10. So it's going to be a 10 by 10 grid. You know, for example, if you wanted it to do 13 points on the x-axis and keep y at 10, it's going to be a 130 points, basically, you know, a 13 by 10 grid. That's really it for that. If your bed's not too messed up, then you can just keep it as 10 by 10. I think that's default as well. And this is a cool idea. I don't know if it works for me, but so basically before your print starts in the preprint G code, you can have it do a 3-point tilt adjustment, which means by default it's going to use the probe and then hit the front left corner, the front right corner, and then the back center on the bed, just for quick calibration, make sure everything checks out. But instead of those default points, it's going to use 3 points that's in your mesh slot that you have saved. So I mean, that's kind of cool. I think it's good to use the data that's in your mesh rather than just 3 points that are probably not used. And then the next one, UBL mesh edit moves Z. To my understanding, this is for fine tuning. You know, using a piece of paper underneath the nozzle to bring it closer, or you would never really bring it farther away. But if it needs to be brought closer, this basically allows you to do that for fine tuning. And then this last step here, UBL Mesh Wizard. I just found out about this. It was already really easy. I think by default they have like a step-by-step guide, but I don't know, it's just cool. It's just super sick. You don't have to do anything else. You press on it, it's gonna bring up. You can adjust the temperature for the nozzle for the bed, and then choose whichever slot you want to save it in. And then I don't know if I trust it, but it says that it saves automatically once it probes all the points. But you know, just to be safe, better safe than sorry. Just store settings anyways. I should say, by the way, before you start UBL at all, probe your Z offset. That should be pretty obvious, but you know, just when it's in the middle of the bed, probe your Z offset, store those settings, and then do UBL. But that's pretty much it for the firmware build itself. I'll go into my slicer and I'll show the preprint G code that we have. All right, here we are in Ultimate Akira, one of the go-to slicers that I use, and millions of other people use it. But settings, I don't know what this would look like if you're not using Cura. Why not use Cura? It's just so easy. I don't know what else you need to use, but manage printers here. This is going to take you to your pre and post print G code. So we're going to start here. Homing all axes is that's standard. Before every print, it's going to do that. Just right below, these three are what we want to focus on. So this G29L1 command, this is going to, it varies based on which slot you choose while you're setting up your UBL mesh. In this case, I have it saved in slot 1, but it's basically just reaching into the EEPROM, grabbing the mesh that's saved, and then applying it for this print. You know, that's really all you need to know, but this if it's on L1 or if it's on slot 1, you do if it's in slot 0, L0, slot 3, L3, just change that number. G29A activates UBL. I don't think that that's necessary. You would think that you know, this command would do that. Loading the mesh would already do that, but I guess just as a failsafe. And then this 3-point tilt adjustment, finally we got to this G29J. This is what I was talking about, where it just does a quick calibration before every print. While everything's heating up, it doesn't really add on any more time, but it is. I don't know how much actually helps because it's just 3 points, uh, and the build plate is bigger than that, but it's still pretty cool, and it has the possibility of catching something, but that's really it for the preprint G code. That's just have those before in your machine settings. So when you slice it into G code, it is going to be there by default. But that's it. I'm not gonna go over doing it on the LCD. It's really straightforward. You just go to your probe settings or your leveling settings. Find UBL wizard, and then it's gonna take you to the. It's just one display that you need. It's gonna give you let you edit your temperature, select the slot that you want to save in, and yeah, like I said, just think better safe than sorry. Just store settings after it probes the points anyways. You might as well. Um, but yeah, I'm looking at my notepad here, and that looks like it's it. So after that, just really make sure you store your settings. So probe your Z offset, run the UBL wizard, store settings. It should be good. I didn't even fine tune it. I didn't think it needed it. Um, I think it's pretty good. I haven't had to touch anything in a few weeks, so it's just really just set and forget it. I haven't had any issues with it. I think that this is the best way to go about auto bed leveling for your printer.